though he was possibly the worst conversationalist in LA. So when she sauntered back from the white-tiled bathroom and knelt on the edge of the mattress, her stare bold as it swept his sprawled body, he sat up, propped himself against the headboard, and finally put together enough functional brain cells for intelligible speech. "You're European, right?" The smile felt odd on his face, unfamiliar. But he was trying, and hopefully she wouldn't notice his awkwardness. "I'm not great with accents, despite the best efforts of various dialect coaches." Her tousled waves glowed like a nimbus in the golden light of the bedside lamp, and he had to catch his breath all over again. "Swedish." It was a brisk response, unadorned by extraneous anything. He'd like to believe her brevity stemmed from a laconic nature, or Scandinavian custom, or discomfort with English, but he knew better. It was him. It was always him. "Okay," he said, then stalled out, his synapses refusing to fire. Damn it. After 15 years in Hollywood, he should be better at this. He wasn't a naive 21-year-old fresh out of college anymore, and he'd grasped long ago how the industry worked. Talent alone wouldn't get him the roles he wanted, the roles he deserved. Good luck played a part, so did good timing, but connections with power players and influencers, the ability to schmooze, those would almost definitely score him better, higher-profile jobs. Which was why his inability to generate genial small talk, even when it would goose his career prospects, was unfortunate. Playing the lovelorn or bumbling best friend, the comic relief, the unnamed murder victim, the character whose entire arc revolved around his weight, had grown old more than a decade ago, and he needed more. A role that would challenge him and stretch his acting skills. Professional recognition, a steady income, the sort of success even his father couldn't deny. Tomorrow, maybe he'd earn that role, that recognition, that income, that success. Tonight, he wanted to earn more time with Maria, so he was going to have to find the right words and soon, because she'd already glanced once toward the door, and he wouldn't forgive himself if he let her leave so quickly, with no way to keep in contact. Clearing his throat, he tried again. "Is that why you were at the sauna? Because you're Scandinavian?" Weren't Swedes into saunas? Or was that Finns? Shit, he didn't remember. Yes, exactly. Her wide mouth curved in a smile, and an immediate surge of triumph swelled in his chest. "I was curious what a faux Swedish sauna in Hollywood would look like." "It is kind of an odd business to plant in the middle of sunny, palm-studded LA. His shoulders loosened as he let out a slow, relieved breath. Finally, he was gaining some conversational traction. "Were you impressed? Disappointed?" She considered the question for a moment. "Both, I'd say. The sauna itself was lovely, although we don't use cedar much in Sweden. More aspen or alder or spruce. And of course, we're usually naked, at least in private saunas." Just as she was naked now, her breasts round and heavy and gorgeous, those plush thighs slightly parted, not wide enough so he could see between them, sadly. "Is that right?" Now he was smiling too, at the sight of her, at the sudden ease of their exchange. "I'm sorry they didn't faithfully follow Swedish custom then." To be fair, her bikini hadn't hidden much anyway. Not how stiff her nipples got after he'd toyed with them. Not the seam of her pussy when she'd stood before him and he'd traced that tempting line with a light fingertip. The brief, teasing touch, a promise. A promise he'd made good on as soon as they locked the hotel room door and he slid his hand between her legs. When she came that first time, his fingers deep inside her, his thumb on her clit, her hair wrapped around his left fist, she'd moaned so loudly he'd expected a call from the front desk.